Okay, welcome everybody to our Wednesday afternoon 12:30 class. Our book is number 15, Simple Songs. The headliner song for today is Hey Jude by the Beatles. And if we have a time to do some more, we will do In the Mood. All right. And as far as announcements, we are now in the month of August, and that means it's our 115th birthday. Fletcher is 115 years old. Oil of Olay does wonders, does it not? Makes us keeps us so young. No, music keeps us young. And this Friday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, our Zoom musical will be hosted by the owner of the company, Mr. John Riley, and they're going to try something kind of like what they did on the 4th of July when they had 4 artists and 4 organs and everybody was in a different place. Well, they're going to do 7 artists and 7 organs, and John Riley will be hosting, and I'm slated to be one of the artists, and so I will be doing a song on the beautiful Lowry Imperial. Now, this is for sale, so if anybody would like to come and take a look at it, please feel free to email me or see me after class. There's your commercial for the day. All righty, very good. Let's talk about Hey Jude. What do we know about it? Well, it was actually written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, but it seriously started as a song by just Paul McCartney. They took credit, both of them took credit for all their songs. That's pretty much what they did. I write one, you write one, let's write one together, but when we bring up the credits, it's going to be John Lennon and Paul McCartney. So that's pretty much what happened. But McCartney was singing a song called Hey Jules, because he was trying to comfort John Lennon's son, Julian. My son's name is Julian. After John Lennon had left his wife, Cynthia, for the wonderful Yoko Ono. So I guess Julian Lennon was not in too great a spirits after that. So McCartney wanted to cheer him up. So he wrote the song based on that. Hey Jules is what it was originally supposed to be. Pretty funny because there's other people in the world who think that it was for them, but I think it was definitely for Mr. Julian Lennon. Okay, now also you're going to get a coda for this song. Let me get this out for a minute. If you want this, I can email it to you. What is it? It's a handwritten coda. And it's the part of the song that you just gotta have. Why? Because that's the part at the end where everybody gets their lighters out. Na, 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 na. That's the part of the song, okay? And it's missing in Easy Play. But I have it for you. I wrote it out. So if you want it, let me know. And then once the scanner is back working, and hopefully, I'm not a mechanic, but hopefully I can get it back to working, and I will be able to scan that to you. So just let me know. I do not have a list of everybody who has come to this class. So if you want that, please email me. Our email, once again, is 5028@fletchermusic.com. I answer any and all emails. All right, so what do we know about extra chords here? Am I adding any extras? Very, very few. Let's go to the second page, page 39. Top line, you have a B flat at the end of the line. That's good for 2 beats. Beat 3, now this is an optional chord. It's up to you as to whether or not you like it sounding that way or whether you just want to stay on B flat. But you may put in a B flat major 7. B flat, capital MAJ7. Remember, major 7s are jazz chords, and they're very easy to find. It's the letter plus the note directly to the left, down 1. So the 2 notes are A and B flat. A and B flat. And you can play them with whatever fingers you need to get to those 2 notes, because that is kind of a hard stretch. Line 3 of the second page, second measure, same thing. You have a B flat in the middle of the page. You can play that for 2 counts. And then in beat 3 over the D for the word plays, you may put in a B flat major 7, which would be A and B flat. Otherwise, your chords, let's take a look at what you have. You have a G minor. G minor is G and B flat. I want you to play it with pointer on G, thumb on B flat. Don't go backwards. Don't try to cross a finger over. Always, always. Pointer on G, thumb on B flat. I had a discussion with my morning class. They wanted to know why can't we go backwards and play that B flat down here instead of up here? Well, if you stay between C on the bottom and B on the top and never ever let your hands go anywhere else except in between those 2 notes, your fingers will thank you. Most of you have a chord chart that I wrote up, and if you use that chord chart, it will tell you exactly which finger and which note. And when you play a C7, it should always be pinky on C, thumb on B flat. Play it the wide way. Don't go backwards. Don't go forwards. You don't want to have to stop and look for your chord hand. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Okay, that's good. All right. That'll help the recording. Okay, so that's what I want you to do is don't go back here, don't jump up here. You want to keep your hand in one position. If you have to scoot your hand up into the black keys and reach over to get that B flat, you may do so. If you need to do a little twist, go ahead and do that. But as long as your hand stays in this position, which we learned in level 1, your fingers will thank you because then you can reach all your chords without having to look. And that's the idea. Now, those of you who are also with me on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday classes, and I give you chords that take you outside the box, that's because once your hand gets comfortable being there, we're allowed to break the rule and go outside the box. But if you're just getting started and getting your chords comfortable, stay between C on the bottom and B on the top. And there's a reason for that. Your fingers will thank you. Okay, a B flat, go up with your thumb. The C7 we talked about, C and B flat. And I think that's pretty much it for chords. Very good. What kind of a road map do we have? You always want to check your road map before you drive someplace, and it's no different in music. You want to check where your symbols are. You want to use colors. Now, a student taught me this, and it was brilliant. If you use colors, your eyes will identify where you're going long before you actually see the black and white symbols. So if you follow the lyrics will take you where you need to go. The entire first page, the second page, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, the last line in the middle of the line. You have 2 thin lines, and you have some instructions. Thin lines are never the end of a song. It's always the end of a section, and it will give you some instructions. It says D, S, al, coda. Go back to the silly sign. Then you're going to play to the 2 coda and skip to coda. Remember, codas always send you forward. You never go backwards to codas. You're going backwards to the silly sign, which is where in this case? The beginning of the song. On that first measure line. Your pickup note will be at the end of this measure. They will never divide the measure and put repeat dots. You will never see that. You will always have the complete measure. Otherwise, if you have repeat dots and divide the measure, you won't know which beat you're on. It's going to be very confusing. So that's why they put the silly sign. So I put green. I know you can't see that there. And then I made the silly sign green. So my eye will take me right back to the silly sign. Then I'm going to play until I see the 2 coda sign. Uh-oh, there it is. And if you look at your lyrics are, 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 your lyrics are doubled underneath there. Remember to let her under your skin, then you'll begin to make it better. Okay, so it says to coda, and you want to make that a different color. I made mine yellow. And then make your coda yellow. And then you just end the song. So let's do that again. All of page 1, most of page 2 until you get to the double lines. Go back to the beginning, the silly sign, and play to the end of line 2. Then jump down to the end of the song. Now, if you want that end page, the end page will take the place of the coda. So instead of jumping to this coda, you're going to jump to the new page. And I'm going to play it for you, and you can decide if you want it or not. It's optional, but it just makes the song a little more authentic. Okay, let's talk about what kind of rhythms work on this, and I'll give you fingering later. This works on pretty much anything that's going to be in your soft and easy or your smooth category at 72 or slower. It comes up 72 in this organ in song setup. It comes up soft and easy, easy 4/4, and it comes up at 72. Now you might want to try it at 62. It works just fine at 62. Keep it slow enough that you can get these things. The hardest part of this song is not the chords, and it's not the roadmap, and it's not the fingering. The hardest part of this song is the timing. The timing. Why? This is easy play music. I see quarter notes, half notes, eighth notes. There's probably a rest or two in here, but what you don't see is exactly the way they sang it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to try to play it exactly the way it's written, at least the first page. And then I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to go back and play it the way I would sing it. And I want you to tell me which one sounds better. Song setup, easy 4/4. That's actually hard work because it doesn't feel right to me. That's just playing every note as it is written. That's not how I want you to play. Use the notes as a guide and then play them with the timing the way you would sing it. As long as you're matching the background, let the background carry you along and do it like you're singing along to the radio. Let me do that one more time, and this time I'm going to do it the way I would sing it, and you tell me which one you like better. Did you hear the difference? Yeah. Yes. If you try to count it exactly as it is written, it will not sound right. It's going to sound stilted. It's going to sound funny. But the notes are good. The notes are good as far as which notes they are. The timing of this is something you just have to go by what your brain knows. Sometimes in easy play, the notes don't even sound right. Well, then it's up to you to change that note, rewrite it, put in the note that does sound right. Always, and if you can't remember the song or you're unfamiliar with the song, use your tools, use Alexa, use YouTube, go to listen to the original or somebody else doing it and get a feel for how it should flow. Because this is the best advice I can give you from here to the end of eternity. Play the song the way you sing it. All right, this time I'm going to play it, and I'm going to play the whole thing. And I'm still on Easy 4/4 song setup. And fade it out. Okay, let's talk a little bit about fade out. Some of you have buttons on your organ that say fade out. And when you're ready to fade out, you just touch it and it just takes the sound down to 0 and turns everything off. Some of you do not. So what do you do if you don't have a fade out button? Some of you, by the way, your intro, ending, and your start, stop have a little line underneath it that says fade. It's really small. You got to kind of get out your magnifying glass. But if you hit those two at the same time, it'll do the same thing. It'll bring everything down and stop automatically. What if you don't have that? Well, then you have to use your foot pedal. Your foot pedal is your volume control, and you're just going to bring it towards you, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And if you're still not at 0 by the time you get it all the way down, then you just reach up to your master volume and bring your master volume down to 0. It takes a little bit more work, but you can do it. You can do it. And then just play until it fades out. Did you like that ending? Better than the ending that's here? Yeah. If you like it, shoot me an email, like I said, after class. Don't do it now. And when I get the scanner up and running again, I will make sure that you get the ending, because it does really put a nice professional touch on the end. That's exactly how they sang it. Okay, let's do some fingering. First of all, let me ask, any questions? Nope. Okay. All right, let's do some fingering. Pencils out. C4. A2, A2, C4, D5, G1, G1, A2, B flat 3, F5, F5, E4, C2. Put an arrow on this next D, make it a 4. Now why the arrow? The arrow is because your tendency is to want to put a third finger on that D, and the arrow is just to give you a heads up. This is unconventional fingering. Put a 4 on the D, C3, B flat 2, A1, C2, D3, 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 G5, F4, E3, F4, D2, C1, check mark. A check mark is just to take a breath with your hand, lift it up and put it in a different spot. Then you can is F1, G2, A3. Third line, D5, C4, C4, B flat 3, A2, E1, F2, F2, check mark. It's another place to take a breath. Lift your hand. C4, A2, A2, C4, D5. Next line, G1, G1, A2, B flat 3, high F5, F5, E4, C2. Put an arrow on this next D, make it a 4. This is all a repeat of what we did above. So songs are written in patterns, and once you get the first 8 measures, usually, of course, don't look at that for the Beatles, it's never the same for the Beatles, but they do write one section and the second section is usually the same. So the D is a 4, C3, B flat 2, A1, C2. Last line on that page, D3, 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 G5, F4, E3, F4, D2, C1, check mark. Lift your hand, reposition it. F is 1, G2, A3, D5, C4, C4, B flat 3, A2, E1, top of the second page, E1, F2, check mark. Now we're at the bridge part, F1. The high F can either be a 5 or a 4, whichever one is comfortable for you. E flat 3, D2, C1, C1, B flat 2 with a circle, cross it over onto that black key, D3, F5, D3, F5. Second line, B flat 2, F5, D3. Put an arrow on the next C, make it a 1. Don't make it a 2 or you're going to end up with a 1 on a black key, and we try not to do that. C1, B flat 2 with a circle, cross it over. C3, D4, C3, B flat 2, A1, G2 with a circle, F1. Third line, F1, high F, 5, D3, D3, put an arrow on the C, make it a 1, C1, C1, B flat 2 with a circle, D3, F5, D3, F5, B flat 2, F5, D3, put an arrow on the C, make it a 1, B flat 2, circle it, we're crossing it over. Now those phrases where you have arrows and circles, take them slowly and take them phrase by phrase. Take it 2 measures at a time until your fingers get comfortable moving over the notes. Line 4, C3, D4, C3, B flat 2, A1, G2 with a circle, you're crossing it over, F1, F1, long skip, C2, that's a long skip, you can do it. D3, E flat 4, D3, E flat 4, E natural 1, put a circle around it, you're tucking it under, F2, G3, G3, check mark. Your pickup note C, the C quarter note is a 4, just like it is at the beginning of the song. And if you're playing the coda, it is D5, C4, C4, B flat 3, A2, E1, F2. Now, if you don't get the coda or you don't care to have the coda, my advice would be to go back to the beginning of the song, start it again, and fade it out. Just play a couple measures and fade it out. It just seems too abrupt to stop it right here. I would go back to the beginning of the song and just play a little bit and fade it out. But you got to have the da-da-da-das. That's the cool part of the song.
Dawn,
So
can you go over that the last measure on the
Yes.
bottom with the
Yes.
coda?
Yep, the coda is D5, C4, C4, B flat 3, A2, E1, F2. All right, now if you're
Thank
looking
you.
at, you're very welcome. If you're looking at that little symbol that's over the F at the very end of the coda, that little with a little bird's eye, that's called a fermata. That means you can hold it as long as you want. So if you're ending it there, that's fine too. You can fade it out right there. Personally, I like to fade it out while I'm playing something, but that's up to you. And of course, if you have the ending, then you can play it on the ending. So the fingering on this is tricky, but the timing is even worse. Go ahead, David.
With the addition that you have there, that's going to take the place of the coda.
Correct. That will
Okay.
take the place of the coda. So you can actually put the coda in parentheses, and I put a little note on mine that says C insert.
Gotcha.
Or C handout. And then I've got a little coda actually up here, and you can put your color on that coda when you get it and print it out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay? All right. So what other backgrounds work on this? If you've got a Freedom 3, the mellow is good. Strings and pianos at the same time. That's what that song setup was, actually guitar and strings. Very nice. You can never go wrong with a sweet organ or a jazz organ with this. This would also be nice with a flute. I tried this on soft rock with an organ. If you would like it to be a little bit more rock and roll sounding, this is how it would sound. How are we doing on time? I guess we're doing pretty good. Now I'm still at 72. And if you want to go with the Judy Judies, Judy, 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 you can put those in too. So please feel free to play it and sing it and just let it go, because that's what makes it fun. And if you want to have some of your neighbors come over with candles or lighters or whatever and do the this and that, just be sure you're social distancing and wear masks. Oh, yes. Okay, fun song, very fun song. I also tried this on Soft and Easy Guitars, and then I tried it also on Write the Songs, which some of you have and some of you do not. And I tried it on Soft Gospel. Don't be afraid to try your gospel backgrounds. Questions? No? Okay. Very good. Good. Let's go to the next song. And no, we're not doing the hokey pokey. So sorry. There's only one chord. Oh, I'm sorry, there's two chords. If you don't know those two chords, I have a level 1 class that meets on Fridays. No, you can do the hokey pokey on your own. Now, In the Mood is the next song. There really isn't that much about it. This was written by Joe Garland, and guess who did it? All the big band guys did it. You know, Glenn Miller did In the Mood. It's famous for that. And if you actually go to your song setup, it's going to bring you to the very first button that's on most of your instruments. All right. I just got a new organ in here yesterday. So once again, they're switching organs on me. In the Mood. There it is. Comes up 140 on Swing Band. And Swing Band is going to give you the very fabulous background that... That's the signature for this song, for In the Mood. Now, why is In the Mood? It looks like it's kind of easy. Wow. It's not. It's not. Once again, it's the timing. It is the timing, because you have a 4/4 type of a song, which means 4 beats to a measure. And then you have all those eighth notes, but they are written in 3-note patterns. 3-note patterns. B, D, G, B, D, G, B, D, G, B, D, G. So if you do 3 against 4, your 1 beat is always going to be, your low note's always going to be on a different beat. I don't know if any of you remember a while back when we had lots of room, I made you do an exercise where your hand went up and down three different ways for one, and up and down 2 different ways with the other, and then you had to put them together. It's kind of like rubbing your tummy and patting your head at the same time. It's one of those types of things. Now, what's nice is you know the song. So again, if you know the song, you play it the way you know it, and it's going to be fine. But when you're playing it, it's actually going to be like... See, where you have to get the beginning of each group of 4 on that downbeat. So B, D, G, B, D, G, B, D, G, B, D, G, B, D, G. Wow. So it's hard to keep the timing because the entire song is that way. The entire song is that way. This is in the key of G, so if you're using an introduction, make sure you write yourself a little note and do intro in G. That just means when you play the intro, just hit that G. What kind of backgrounds work on this? Your swing band, if you're on the larger instruments. By the way, Vegas Big Band sounds pretty good. Standard full band, which is Frank and the Count. Or if you're on a Freedom 3, it's standard big band. If you go to a different background, and you're not sure of, they don't give you this Glenn Miller, they don't give you the Glenn Miller sound, like if you go to Vegas Big Band, they don't give you that. Your general preset number 10 in this line of 1 through 10 is always the Glenn Miller Orchestra. So if you've got a larger instrument and you have general presets, now what are general presets? General presets are the ones that are there 1 through 10 and never change. If you push rhythm preset, it changes all of these 10 to be fabulous sounds for whatever background I have it on. Or if I'm in a category preset, it changes all 10 of these to be sounds whatever the category happens to be. If I do not have on any rhythm preset or any category, then number 10 is always going to be the Glenn Miller Orchestra. Always. So no matter what background you decide to use, no matter what rhythm plus orchestration you decide to use, if you have a larger instrument, number 10 general preset will always be the best sound you can choose. Now, it may be a little high, so you might want to transpose your instrument down in order to make it sound a little bit better, get it a little bit more in range. But when you're on song setup and you just go boom, and you touch it in the screen, you're done. You are done. That's why songs that have the organs that have song setup makes it so much easier to choose your rhythms. Now it comes up at 140. I recommend 120. It's a little bit easier to handle, so I'm going to slow it down. Mr. Bill Curry likes to caffeinate himself before he rates half of these rhythms. If you can handle it at 140, go for it. There's no changes in chords, by the way. They are as they are. So start with a G for the intro. You can end it right there, or again, you can go back and just fade it out and play it again, because it's a fun song to play. What's on the bottom? I think a trombone. Nope, it's more brass. Okay. Nothing hard about the chords. Let's see. On the second page, you do have a D or a D7 at the top of the page. That would be C and D. Second line, second measure, you have a C minor, C and E flat. Pinky and third finger, C and E flat. And on the third page, you have an F minor, which is F and A flat. Pointer and thumb, F and A flat. Remember the rules for minors. It's the letter plus 3 up the keyboard. 3 to the right. Okay, let's do some fingering. Fingering on this is pretty self-explanatory. This one is not too hard on fingering. It's, again, the timing. You got to keep that timing right. All right, B1, D2, G5, B1, D2, G5. Guess what the next group is? B1, D2, G5, and one more time, B1, D2, and G5. Next line, B1, D2, G5. Imagine that. B1, D2, G5. B1, D2, G5, and B1, D2, G5. I'll let you fill all those in. Third line. There's two different ways to do this. If you pick one, just be consistent with it because your fingers will thank you. You may do C1, E3, G5, or it may be more comfortable to do C1, E2, G4. Pick the one that works the best for you and then copy it all the way across the line. And it may take you 1 or 2 times to try them both and see which one works the best. Let's go to line 4. Guess what? That's the same as line 1. B1, D2, G5. B1, D2, G5. B1, D2, G5. B1, D2, G5. Top of the page. I'm going to give you a choice on this one as well. You may do D1, F sharp 3, A5 across the boards, or you may do D1, F sharp 2, A4. And then I'll let you pick the one and then fill in the rest of them as to which one is more comfortable for your fingers. Just be consistent. The last G will in the line will either be a 4 or a 3, depending on which fingering you have chosen. And again, the next line, which is all G's, will either be a 4 or a 3, depending on which of the other fingering you had chosen. It's easier to do a 3, I think. 4 gets a little tedious doing that. Da, 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 da. All right, third line, G4, E2, G4. C1, E2. G can be 3 or 4. B5. B5. G is either 3 or 4. E2. G is either 3 or 4. Again, it has to do with the length of your fingers and which one is more comfortable, which reach is more comfortable for you. So find the right one and erase the other one. That's why we use pencil. Line 4, C1, E2. G can either be 3 or 4. B5, B5. G is either 3 or 4. E2, G3 or 4. A lot of repetition in this song. C1, E2, G3, B4, D5, B4. That's a lot of stretching, but I think it's the easiest way to do that. So just remember, you're pretty much putting a key in between each finger. You're actually going more than an octave. So watch that line. Third page, D5, all the way across the board. It'll give your pinky a good workout. Yes, Betty, I did my pinky exercises. D5, B flat 3, A2, G1. At the end of line 1, put a check mark. G can either be 3 or 4. E2, G can either be 3 or 4. C1, E2, G is either 3 or 4. B5, B5. G3 or 4. E2, G3 or 4. Line 3. C1, E2, G3 or 4. B5, B5. G3 or 4. E2, G3 or 4. C1, E2, G3, B4, D5, B4. There's that long stretch again. That'll be good for your fingers. It's a good finger exercise, this song. Last line, the D's are all 5s. The last measure is D5, B flat 3, A2, G1. Those of you that have the transpose part of your organ, you may wish to do a fill-in at the end of the song. Transpose up 1, go back and play it again. If you're not sure where the fill-in is on your instrument, email me and I will call you, and we can either do it over the email or we can do it over the phone. All right, we're going to do In the Mood one more time. I'm just going to use song setup because it is so good. I am going to slow it down. That's the only thing I'm going to do. If you are close to your organ and you want to play along with me, I'm slowing it down to 110 so we can try to play this all together. If you feel like just doing one hand, go ahead. Second line. Third line. Fourth line. Second page. And there you have it, In the Mood. This is a really fun song to play. It's a good finger exercise. It's a good warmer-upper song. But it's not the easiest in the world because you are talking about 3 notes against a 4/4 count. So you've got to just watch that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, you got to watch that where it comes in on the beat. All right, next week we have Imagine by John Lennon, another Beatles song. And we may only do the 1 because I do have some extra notes to give you. And hopefully the scanner will be up by then. We can do extra pages and stuff like that. Yeah, this is a long enough one. Let's just count on doing Just Imagine for next week, okay? Any questions about what we just did today? Too hard? Too easy? Okay? Thumbs up? Okay, good. Good, very good. You guys are the bestest. Thank you so much. Any questions? Do not forget, email me, call me, come on in and see me, and I'm more than happy to help you out on it. All right, for now, that's the way we got to do things. Go ahead.
Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
That was
Love you guys.
Thank you,
Love
Dawn.
it too.
Love
Bye.
you
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you for all your good efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me.
Linda. Hi, Linda. Thanks, Dawn.
Hello. Hi there, Joanne.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing fine so far.
Thank you, Don.
I miss the social, I really do. I really do. That's the worst part of this whole stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. We'll see you all again next week, or we'll see you on Friday. Don't forget Friday at 2 o'clock. It's
Oh,
our
yes.
115th birthday party, and yours truly gets to do one song. One song. Yep, that's all right. Now, you'll get to see some artists that you've never seen before, which will be kind of cool too. And John Riley will be hosting, so please, please, please join us for that concert. 7 artists, 7 organs. All right. I will see you all next week, or I'll see you
Thank
all on
you.
Friday.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.